From the very beginning, the connection you shared with this person was marked by turbulence, a ceaseless push and pull that oscillated between moments of passion and stretches of emotional detachment. The unpredictable nature of this relationship, where intimacy would surge forward only to retreat into silence, created an environment that left you constantly guessing. It was as if you were caught in a storm, never knowing when the winds would shift, forcing you to navigate through an ever-changing emotional landscape. Over time, the relentless fluctuations began to take their toll, draining you in ways you had not fully recognized at first. You reached a moment of reckoning, realizing you had to choose between remaining entangled in this exhausting cycle or redirecting your focus inward, toward your own well-being. The weight of uncertainty became unbearable, leading you to take a stand, to prioritize your own growth and healing rather than holding on to something that only seemed to pull you deeper into confusion. This shift was not unnoticed. As you moved forward, steadily reclaiming your energy and sense of self, the person you once held so dear found themselves increasingly consumed by thoughts of you. What may have once been buried beneath a facade of indifference now emerged as an undeniable obsession. However, this sudden intensity was not fueled solely by passion, but also by a painful realization, one that had come too late. Only now, in your absence, did they fully grasp the irreplaceable value of what they had lost. From the beginning, you gave freely, offering unconditional love, patience, and understanding without hesitation. You nurtured the connection, forgave missteps, and overlooked shortcomings, even when they caused you pain. You provided a sanctuary, a space where they felt safe, seen, and deeply cared for, something they had perhaps never experienced before. Yet, instead of cherishing this gift, they took it for granted, mistaking your devotion for something endless, something they could always count on, regardless of their actions. Everything changed when you decided to take back your power. In a moment of profound clarity, you recognized that the dynamic of your relationship was no longer serving you. It was draining you, diminishing your sense of self-worth, and keeping you locked in a cycle that had no resolution. Walking away was not easy. It was painful, heart-wrenching, but necessary. By stepping back, by refusing to engage in the same patterns of manipulation and inconsistency, you sent a clear and powerful message, not only to them, but to yourself. You would no longer accept being undervalued. Your decision had an immediate and profound effect. For the first time, they had to face the possibility of losing you entirely. The security they had grown so accustomed to, the quiet certainty that you would always be there, was gone. The realization hit hard. What they had assumed was a game of control, a dynamic they could shape to their advantage, was in reality a slow unraveling of something beautiful, something rare. In the wake of your absence, they began to see their actions for what they truly were. The manipulation, the emotional distancing, the games designed to keep you chasing, all of it had been an attempt to protect themselves from vulnerability. Yet, rather than keeping them safe, these behaviors had only driven you further away. What they once saw as a means of maintaining control had, in the end, ensured their own downfall. Perhaps the most painful realization for them was understanding that your love had never been conditional. You had stood by them through the highs and lows, through distance and difficulty, through moments when they did not deserve the unwavering loyalty you continued to offer. But instead of appreciating this rare and profound love, they projected their fears onto you, assuming that one day, like others before you, you would leave at the first sign of trouble. That fear blinded them to the sincerity of your devotion, to the depth of your commitment. Now, as they sit with the weight of their regrets, they begin to understand how much damage was done. The emotional instability, the cycle of hope followed by disappointment, the constant uncertainty, it had all chipped away at you, slowly depleting your energy. When you chose to step away, it was not simply an act of leaving them behind, but a necessary decision to reclaim the parts of yourself that had been lost. You redirected your energy toward something greater, your aspirations, your personal growth, a life that was no longer dictated by their inconsistencies. This transformation has been impossible to ignore. They see it unfolding before them, undeniable proof that you are not only surviving without them, but thriving. It is now clear to them that your departure was never about a lack of love, but rather a refusal to endure a cycle of pain indefinitely. In your absence, they have come to terms with a truth they once refused to acknowledge. The love you gave was a gift, one they mishandled due to their own unresolved fears and insecurities. Now they are left to confront the harsh reality that their own actions led to the very outcome they had always feared, losing you for good. Your story is not only one of love and heartbreak, but also of longing, of an ache that lingers long after goodbye. There is no easy way to articulate how deeply you miss them, how their absence has woven itself into your days, how the smallest moments, a familiar song, a place you once visited together, even a passing phrase, can bring them rushing back into your mind. It is not just the memories that sting, but the silence, the unspoken words, the unanswered questions. The absence of their voice, the laughter that once filled spaces now left hollow, the empty places where they used to stand, all serve as reminders of what once was. Each morning, as you reach for your phone, half expecting a message, a sign that they still think of you, reality settles in, heavy and unrelenting. The weight of their absence presses down, a constant reminder of a connection that once felt unbreakable. And in the quiet moments, the thoughts creep in. The doubt, the lingering question of whether it was you who ruined everything, whether something you did led to this unraveling. You never believed they would truly walk away. No matter how difficult things became, there had always been a return, a coming back to each other. But now there is only silence, and it speaks louder than words ever could. The lack of response, the absence of any sign that they are still fighting for what you once had, tears at you in ways you cannot fully express. And yet, despite it all, you continue to hope. You continue to hold on, waiting for even the smallest indication that they, too, still carry the weight of what was lost. You plead not in desperation, but in sincerity. You need to know if they still think of you, if you still occupy even the smallest space in their heart. You confess that you have not given up, not even for a moment. That despite the pain, the uncertainty, the loneliness, you still believe in what you shared. The depth of your love is undeniable. It is present in every thought, every breath, every dream of what could have been. Without them, the future feels uncertain, a path you never imagined walking alone. They were not just a lover, they were your safe place, your home, the one who brought color to the gray spaces in your world. And so, with an open heart, you wait. You remind them of the way they changed your life, how they gave meaning to moments that would have otherwise passed unnoticed. You wonder how they could leave when you are still here, still fighting, still believing in something that once felt destined. You express your willingness to repair, to heal, to mend what was broken, because you know that what you had was worth it. And though you take responsibility for your own missteps, you reaffirm the truth. Your love was real, powerful, and rare. It was worth every effort, every tear, every moment of waiting for the chance to rewrite the ending. But what you do not know is what lingers in their mind, whether they, too, feel the same pull. Whether, in their quietest moments, they still long for you the way you long for them.